We have just got off I-70 outside of Glenwood Springs, Colorado, in a little town called Dotsero. We're currently heading north along Colorado River Road, and soon we'll be making a left on Coffee Pot Road. Now this is going to take us into the heart of the Flat Tops area here above Glenwood Canyon. This is an area we have wanted to explore for a long time. Now we consulted Trails Off-Road as well as the Fun Treks books, and we put together our own route consisting of over 200 miles that we're going to explore over a 3-day weekend. Well, we've just made our left on Coffee Pot Road, and we are getting our adventure started. The Coffee Pot Road itself is a total of 37 miles long, and that is out and back. So you have to turn around and come back out. It's very, very easy. In fact, I think this is probably the official trail of Subarus everywhere. They can do this easily, and you will see tons of them on this road. There are a lot of camping spots if you want to pull off and grab yourself a spot right along the road. Now we're only going to go up about 23 miles because we're going to take something a lot more difficult, and that's a Grizzly Jeep Road. So we're looking forward to that. Should be a lot of fun. But in the meantime, we're just heading up Coffee Pot, enjoying these views as we climb up into the mountains of Colorado. On the left-hand side here are some really cool looking cave structures. There's also a pretty good sized parking lot here if you are trying to meet up with people, regroup, air down, or have a quick little snack. But for us, we're going to keep going. We've got a long ways to go. The road itself is a very well-maintained, graded dirt road. Nothing to get excited about, but the views are fantastic. We can see down into Glen Canyon, we can see over to I-70, and all the switchbacks that we've had to do coming up to this point. When you get to the top of the switchbacks, you enter a whole new terrain. This grassy meadow area opens up for as far as you can see. Now, when you get to the 15.3 mile mark, we highly recommend you take the little detour to your right. It's only a half mile down, but it's going to take you to this little oasis at the end of the meadow, and you're going to be at Deep Creek Overlook. This is an absolutely amazing place to stop and take a break. That spot was absolutely worth it. That was so cool. But we are back on Coffee Pot Road, and you might think, wow, these colors look like fall colors. Well, they are, because this is Labor Day weekend. There's hardly anyone on this road. We've kind of got it to ourselves, and we are enjoying this beautiful scenery. We are just shy of 23 miles in, and we're going to make a left here on Grizzly Jeep Road. Now, we could have, right from I-70, come straight up Transfer Trail and got to the end of this trail and gone straight up, but based on the weather conditions, we decided to bypass the beginning of Transfer Trail. So we're going to cut across the flat tops here on Grizzly Jeep Road. Should be a few fun obstacles and waypoints up ahead, and then we'll continue our loop when we get to the end of this trail. You can see the stark difference between Coffee Pot Road and Grizzly Jeep Road. This is just double track here, a little bit rougher, definitely not graded and maintained like Coffee Pot Road, but still, so far, it's been pretty easy, other than a couple little ruts and a bunch of water crossings. But I know, because I read, there's some obstacles up ahead. Well, we're a little wet and we're a little muddy. We're getting dirtier by the minute, but we are having a blast out here. This scenery, well, you know what? I'm just going to let it speak for itself. Katarina is taking on the most difficult obstacle here on Grizzly Jeep Road. And this is one of those times where you look at something from one perspective and it looks very easy and you're like, there's nothing wrong with this. But on the other side, what you can't see from this angle is a couple of big rocks and some big drops that the trailer has to go through. And she's taking it very careful because we've got that Quiet Cat bike on the back. And when we tip too much, it actually touches the back of the Jeep. So she's taking it real slow to get through this obstacle. Passenger. Okay, right there. You've got it. You're good. And he said there's a section back over here called Bachelor's Loop that's in pretty bad shape. I said, I don't think we're doing that. As we come over this little ravine here, we go into Grizzly Cow Camp. That's an old cowboy camp for grazing cattle on the hills. It says one of them has a date of 47 on it, but it's unclear as whether it was 1947 or 1847. To our left over here, we'll get some footage of it in a minute. It's supposed to be a nice waterfall. But we've got some nice old buildings here to explore. Great place to stop for lunch, take a break, a little bio break or something. But you can definitely do a little bit of exploring here in Grizzly Cow Camp. But that cow camp is definitely a great place to stop if you're into old buildings, or you want to take a hike down into that canyon and see all that waterfall stuff. It was so cool. Got a little rained on, so as if the Jeep wasn't dirty enough, we're now on some wet trail, and we are heading towards the end of Grizzly Jeep Road. Well, we've just finished Grizzly Jeep Trail, and we get to this big Y intersection, and we're gonna go left. Now this is gonna put us on White Owl Lake, and we're gonna take that kind of south until we hook up to Transfer Trail. Now, one thing I do want to mention is, see these bushes on both sides? It actually isn't bad right here, but earlier on, this is a serious pinstripe warning. Oh, look, we actually got somebody in front of us with a trailer. Huh. Okay. So now we head down and meet up with Transfer Trail. Well, if you're following our route, we're now on Transfer Trail, and we're going to start working our way back north. We did head south for a while, made a big hairpin turn, and then now we're heading back north again. So it's 1:40 in the afternoon. It's still 64 degrees. We've gone just under 28 miles in 2.5 hours. So we're doing pretty good. We made pretty good time. That Jeep Trail kind of slowed us down a little bit in a few spots, but not too bad. We're doing okay on this stuff. And where are we going? Going left?
No.
Then why'd you point there?
I have to pull forward a little bit so I can see what it is written there.
White Owl Road, Monument Lake, Carbonate, Blue Lake. Okay, so Katerina says we're going straight, so we're gonna go straight. So I guess we're staying on 602. If you're looking at the mile mark or the signs there.
And here, Trails of Road says go straight.
And Trails Off Road said to go straight. Fair enough.
This is Monument Lake. Say it.
Oh. To our right here is Monument Lake. That's a nice size little piece of water there. I don't see any way of getting down to it. And there doesn't seem to be any campsites around it. So I would guess the fishing there is probably pretty good since you can't actually get to it. But there's going to be plenty more opportunity for that. That is Grizzly Lake down there, according to my map I'm looking at while I'm driving. This has been a very, very rough section. Very slow going. We're doing around 5-6 miles per hour through this. It is just a lot of big rocks, a lot of big ruts, and this section has really slowed us down. Well, the road has definitely eased up somewhat, and we are headed towards our first destination, which is over by Hart Lake. Now, there's a handful of other lakes in the area, and we're just going to find one that looks like a good campsite for the evening. Well, this is the end of day one here in the Flat Tops. We're burning gas way faster than we expected, getting like 6 miles per gallon. So we may have to change our plans, cut things a little shorter, but we're fixing dinner right now. So it's time to flip some steaks here, I think. Yeah. We're having to fix steaks tonight because haven't caught any fish here. I don't know where the fishies are, but they're not in this lake. At least I haven't found them yet. Maybe later. The sun's going down. We're gonna watch, see if they start feeding on the surface, pull out the fly rod, which will kind of be a first if I ever catch a fish on a fly rod. I've only been doing it for about a week, so we're gonna experiment with that. In the meantime, we got a lot of other stuff coming from this weekend, so stay tuned, and we're gonna relax and enjoy the rest of our evening. Well, the fishing here may be absolutely non-existent, but the views here are amazing. It is so pretty. We're enjoying sitting here and just enjoying this view for sure. However, we really miscalculated on gas. We're burning way more than we expected. And after talking to a ranger about where the closest place to get gas is, we have to make a tough decision about knocking off a big chunk of our route. So once we figure that out, we'll find a new place for tomorrow. It is now day 2 here in the Flat Tops, and after talking to a ranger, they told us where we were at to not really expect to catch any fish, and that we should go over to Deep Lake. So we're over at Deep Lake. We've got a beautiful campsite, which I would love to show you, except it's raining and it just finished hailing. So we're under the canopy at the moment and waiting for things to clear up, and then we'll give you a little tour around our Deep Lake campsite. Well, it only rained for a short period of time. The sun came out, the roads dried up, and I was fortunate enough on this trip to have a loaner bike from Quiet Cat, and I could not wait to stretch this thing's legs. So I got on it and went for a cruise around the lake. This area is so beautiful, and experiencing it on a bike is really, really cool. As I mentioned before, this is Labor Day weekend, so it's no surprise that there's hardly any campsites available. As we were driving around trying to find somewhere to camp for the night, we met a couple who had just come out of this area, and they told us somebody was getting ready to leave the best campsite in the entire campground. So we quickly headed over there and grabbed not only a campsite, but the best campsite right on the water.
You want to see what it's going inside? Croissants.
We've left the Flat Tops area and we are heading over to the Tozer Crater. Now, we did this, number one, because it's Labor Day weekend. It's really busy in the Flat Tops. And I'll tell more about that in a little bit. But right now we're going over to Tozer Crater, which is Colorado's most recent volcano. Believe it or not, kind of weird. I mean, granted, it hasn't erupted in 4,200 years. Maybe today will be the day, who knows? But it was one of the places they used to mine for the materials to make cinder blocks. So it should be a pretty easy drive. It says Trails Off-Road calls it a 3-4, so a couple of optional obstacles or something along the way. But we're just gonna cruise on up, take a look, see the sights here, and hopefully be away from people because it was really busy in the Flat Tops today. So let's check out Tozer Crater. Yeah, this definitely is some lava rock material around here. There's some big ones we just passed a little while ago, and the gravel here on the road and on the sides is all black lava rock. So kind of interesting. Not used to seeing something like this in Colorado. It's kind of bizarre. I don't know how many other newer volcanoes there are in Colorado, but again, this is our newest one, not our most recently active one. Yeah, a little over 4,000 years ago was the last eruption. Now, this trail is not supposed to be anything difficult or anything, but the views are supposed to be good and it's supposed to be an interesting drive. So we're giving it a try. It's definitely going to kill our gas mileage hauling the trailer up this steep hill, but that's all right. I love something different, and this is definitely something more different than we've seen in a while. So the entire trail is listed as 12 miles, but only about 1.5 miles in, and you're at the crater. So this is a volcano crater right here. Pretty interesting, all the lava rock over there. So we're just gonna take a stop here, take a look at it, and then we're gonna continue up the trail.
Which way do I frickin' go?
You don't want to stop on those.
This is something. This ground is almost like sand. It is so soft. So we're in 4 low and making sure that we just power through this stuff, because the last thing we want to do is get stuck in here with our trailer. Which way do I go? Okay.
Now this area is an absolute mecca for dirt bikes, but we're trying to follow trails off-road to get through this, but there are so many side trails. There's trails that are open, closed, missing. It is super, super confusing.
Well, this seems to be the end of the trail for us. The sign says no motor vehicles and the area is closed for restoration. So that's going to be it for Tozer Crater. Now I want to take a moment and talk about the flat tops area, because that was the main focus of this adventure. I would say my expectations of the area were a bit off. I expected it to be a lot more primitive. And yet the number one vehicle that we saw there were Subarus. I mean, they were everywhere. That and full-size pickups. It is amazing how accessible the flat tops area is. You can take almost any vehicle in there if it's got a little bit of ground clearance. You know, I recommend 4-wheel drive because of the roads, but it's a really easy place to get to. If you want to get to Hart Lake or Deep Lake, you can do it in pretty much any vehicle. So if you want some of the harder off-roading there, you're going to do Transfer Trail, you're going to do Grizzly 4x4 Trail, and that's pretty much it. There's a couple little side trails here and there, but those are the 2 main off-roading trails in the area. Now, we didn't do Transfer Trail because of having the trailer with us, but that's really about it. Otherwise, it's a great place to go explore. It's a great place to go camping. There's some good fishing there. It's a fun area. But if you're into the more harder off-road stuff, may not be the place for you. But if you want something easier with great camping, then definitely the flat tops is a fantastic area. So that's going to be it for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. From Katarina and myself, stay safe out there. We'll see you on the trails.